Breaking news. Belarus and China are working to improve transportation and logistics. According to Belta, a Belarusian news outlet, Belarusian Railways intends to increase cooperation with Jiangsu Suzhou Port Group County Limited, a state-owned corporation in China. According to the article, high-ranking officials from Belarusian Railways met with their counterparts from Jiangsu province. The gathering was held in the Belarusian Railways Administration Building. The purpose of the get-together was to establish reliable logistics and transportation channels for the exchange of goods between the two nations. The meeting reportedly included Vladimir Morozov, the CEO of Belarusian Railways, and other company executives. From the Belarusian side, the state enterprise BTLC was also present. Wu Hong, president of the Jiangsu Suzhou Port Group, represented China's Jiangsu province in the talks. The director of the Shanghai municipality's Commerce Department was also there. According to Belta, the topic of Belarusian Railways' partnership with Jiangsu Suzhou Port Group was discussed. According to reports, both parties will examine numerous possibilities, including land routes and seaports, some of which may involve the Russian Federation. The government of Belarus, a former Soviet republic, is widely seen as a reliable ally of Moscow. Russia's Vladimir Putin gave strong support to Belarus's Alexander Lukashenko during the country's widespread protests against him. In return, Russia has benefited from Lukashenko's cooperation both before and during its invasion of Ukraine. Russia and China have grown closer as a result of the conflict in Ukraine. As the West imposed harsh sanctions on Russia in an effort to cut off its ability to raise funds, China provided diplomatic cover for Russia in international bodies like the United Nations and provided economic aid to the country. Following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, both Russia and China have made overtures toward uniting nations seen as adversarial to the US-led Western Bloc. Cooperation between Russia and Belarus takes on significant geopolitical dimensions in this light. Join the group of contributors at weonews.com right now. Don't be shy about voicing your thoughts and experiences. Experts who follow the US-China rivalry told Voice of America, VOA, that they fear Beijing will become more aggressive in response to China's economic woes, increasing the risk of war with the US over Taiwan. Further, if other countries follow the US lead and restrict investments in China, the slowdown in China's economy, which is already evident with slowing growth, plunging exports, and the increasing municipal debt, unemployment, and deflation, is expected to worsen. China may act more aggressively in the near term as its military capabilities mature to lock in gains while it still has the chance, said Hal Brands, who was Special Assistant to the Secretary of Defense for Strategic Planning in 2015 and 2016. He is now a professor of international affairs at the Johns Hopkins University's School of Advanced International Studies, where he holds the Henry A. Kissinger Distinguished Professorship. Brands, author of Danger Zone, The Coming Conflict with China, was quoted by VOA as saying, "This is why the danger of a war over Taiwan, for example, is highest in this decade because China will have more military capability than ever before, just as it peaks and starts to decline economically relative to the United States." Brands added that when economies slow and geopolitical troubles increase, rising great powers tend to become more aggressive. These are the challenges modern China is up against. China will have a harder time overtaking the United States as the leading power in the world as its economy continues to struggle, he added. On Wednesday, Vice President Joe Biden signed an executive order banning investments by U.S. venture capital and private equity firms in Chinese high-tech industries that pose a threat to U.S. national security. On Thursday, Liu Pengyu, a spokesperson for the Chinese embassy, told VOA's Korean service that Beijing is very worried about Biden's move. According to VOA, Liu said that new investment restrictions were implemented by the U.S. despite China's repeated expressions of deep concern. This has been met with great dismay on the Chinese side. And, as Liu put it, the latest investment restrictions will seriously undermine the interests of Chinese and American companies and investors, hinder the normal business cooperation between the two countries, and lower the confidence of the international community in the U.S. business environment. As a result, China's naval presence in the South China Sea has grown more assertive as it seeks to bolster Beijing's expansive claims to sovereignty over uninhabited islands and the sea's vast reserves of untapped oil and natural gas. According to VOA, Beijing's claims have angered other countries with competing claims, such as Vietnam, the Philippines, Taiwan, Malaysia, and Brunei. While the United States has been using its right to free navigation in the Taiwan Strait to counter China's aggressive stance toward Taiwan, Beijing has increased its military presence there. According to VOA reports, the Taiwanese Defense Ministry confirmed on October 10 that 5 Chinese warships were conducting combat readiness patrols, and that they were accompanied by Chinese Air Force aircraft. Particularly important to the world economy are the free flow of goods and services through the Taiwan Strait and the South China Sea. It is estimated that more than $3.4 trillion USD in goods, or 21% of global trade, pass through the Taiwan Strait annually. According to VOA, if China invaded Taiwan, it could disrupt a major international trade route. Scowcroft Center for Strategy and Security Vice President and Senior Director Matthew Kronig stated, "China's economic growth has leveled off and will likely decline in the near future." But he added that Chinese President Xi Jinping might make the same mistake Russian President Vladimir Putin did in assuming he could easily take over Ukraine because of his own inability to see reality. Xi is unaware that Beijing's economy is in decline, according to Kronig, author of The Return of Great Power Rivalry. He thinks America is in decline while he makes China stronger. Therefore, I am concerned that this could lead to hostilities. According to VOA, international relations expert Michael Kronig said that miscalculation is a leading cause of war. Ani